Quick, in the comment section, what's the first thing you think of? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word hacker? We hear about hackers all the time, especially with the rest of cybersecurity hacks and the entire world seemingly going digital with everything. But like most things, there's probably some aspects of hacking and its history that you guys didn't know. And that's what we're going to try to go over today. What is up, guys? Jimmy here. Welcome to the Facts series. And today we're going to go over 10 facts about hackers. We are running a $200 Amazon gift card giveaway the entire month. All you have to do to enter is like this video, be subscribed, turn on your notifications, and leave a comment why you want to win it with your Twitter handle attached. I will announce the winner at the end of the month on Twitter. Well, first things first, we all probably know that the term hacker is a negative one. I mean, it really is. The first thing you think of is negativity. Usually when you hear someone referred to as a hacker, it's a bad thing, but that didn't actually used to be the case. When the term hacker was first introduced, it was actually a positive term used to describe someone who was very, very savvy with computers and technology. A hacker used to be just a common term for someone who specialized in finding loopholes in computer programming in order to actually solve problems. And there are still a lot of computer programmers who hold the work to the same standard today. However, as time went on and hacking became more and more prominent in the world, the word was kind of reassigned to describe people who use their computer skills to bypass security or break into restricted cyber areas, a lot of time for negative things. Despite the definition of hacker changing from positive to negative in recent years, the word actually had an entirely different meaning back when computers weren't a thing yet. When the word was first introduced to the world, a hacker was one who makes furniture with an axe, and it was later transitioned to one who takes pleasure in an unconventional solution to a technical obstacle. The second definition is really the one that stuck, as once computers became regular household items, a hacker became a technically savvy person, like we discussed before. So despite the current connotation of the word, it has seen a lot of changes over the years, and I would be surprised if we saw yet another definition change at some point in the future. But yeah, back in the day, it was you were a furniture maker using an axe. An interesting statistic about hacking is the fact that over half of recorded cyber attacks start as inside jobs and are carried out by people with limited knowledge of how the technology actually works. According to multiple studies, approximately 59% of security breaches on larger companies stem from employees who took information with them when they left the company, either for getting fired, quitting. They were salty for some reason, so they took a little parting gift with them. This has led to a lot of companies being much more careful when it comes to what they let their former employees take with them upon their departure, good or bad. But there's only so much you can do to actually prevent this from happening. Have you ever wondered what the actual first recorded hack was? Well, I'm going to tell you guys. It was performed by a group of MIT Tech Model Railroad Club members, and they decided to start messing with an IBM 704 mainframe all the way back in the 1950s, and they created a bunch of fake punch cards in order to manipulate the system's functionality. One of my favorite old school hackers is a man named John Draper, who went by the alter ego Captain Crunch. In the early 70s, Captain Crunch actually managed to perform the earliest recorded phone line hack when he used a toy whistle to replicate the 2600 hertz tone that phone companies were using to direct calls. This little stunt ended up getting him arrested and thrown in jail for a little while, but his work inspired a lot of hackers to actually start innovating and discovering what was and what wasn't possible. In fact, one of Steve Jobs' first profitable projects was when he and Steve Wozniak actually recreated and sold the same whistle that Captain Crunch used in his stunt against the phone lines. When a hacker determines their next target for a cyber attack, the first step of the process usually doesn't involve any actual hacking. The first step of a cyber attack is known as footprinting, and it involves the attacker trying to gain as much information about their target as possible while also using as few resources as possible. For the footprinting process, many hackers try to interact with real people as opposed to computers, and given how much easier it is to fool a person than an actual machine, that's the route they take. This is why you often hear of people getting their information stolen via phone calls, or someone calling into their ISP pretending to be them, or someone calling a phone service provider saying, "Hey, I lost my SIM card." Chances are, the average AT&T employee doesn't know what every single client sounds like or acts like, so if you could pretend to be them in order to reset passwords or get inside information, this is way, way easier for anybody to do if they're trying to do something like a hack. Speaking of real people, let's talk a little bit about social media and its effect on the world of hacking. According to studies performed by the HeimelSecurity.com, social media is the #1 target for hackers trying to swipe personal information from people. In fact, an average of 600,000 Facebook accounts are broken into every single day. To put that in perspective for you guys, there are about 2.07 billion monthly Facebook users as the recording of this video, which is insane. I think we only have like 8 billion people on the planet, or 7 billion, meaning that every day another 0.03% of the Facebook user base is getting hacked, which may not sound like a lot, but that adds up over time. And that's a lot. Many social media sites have caught up on just how easy it is for hackers to get into them, and obviously certain sites are more secure than others. But if you're an avid social media user, be sure that your personal info is safe and secure. 600,000 accounts every day is a pretty big deal. Have you ever wondered why so many computer experts and tech-savvy people always keep their programs up to date? Well, it's not just because they want to stay ahead of the curve, but rather they want to avoid security breaches. According to, once again, HeimelSecurity.com, at least 99% of recorded cyber attacks are performed on outdated software. The more time you don't update your software, the more time a hacker actually has to understand the ins and outs of how it actually functions, putting your computer at risk more and more every day. This is why it's far more common to get viruses on older computers and operating systems, because they're just not protected up to the day's standards. Two common techniques during the preparation of a cyber attack are ping sweeps and port scans. A ping sweep helps the hacker identify vulnerable computers, while the port scan will go digging into those vulnerable computers and search for holes that the attacker can use to break through the security. They're trying to find holes in the wall, okay? Encyclopedia.com compares ping sweeps and port scans to someone walking up to a house, knocking on the door, jiggling the door handle to see if anyone's home, as if to prepare for a robbery later. A little more aggressive form of this is called enumeration, in which the attacker becomes directly connected to the victim's network from the get-go and immediately begins digging further info. To reference Encyclopedia.com one more time, enumeration is like when you kick the door down and you took your chances on whether or not someone was home. While it gets the job done quicker, it adds to the risk. And if you get caught in the act, I mean, obviously